Hey, this is Field Yates. You're listening to the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast.
Tell it how it is. Father and son, boy, it's never been did. Oops, I'm not done. We all about the fun. Trying to be the one, not another bum. So, fantasy football tips. Probably win one, maybe 2 or 3 ships. Oops, I'm at Hun. Eli is the one. Tyler makes the sum. Belosky and it's done. Boom.
This is the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast. Season 3, episode 41. I'm your host, Tyler Belosky.
I'm your other host, Eli Belosky.
And before we even get started, Field Yates, thank you so much for that intro line. That was awesome, Field. I met him last weekend at the NFFC down in Fort Worth, Texas. And Eli, that was an awesome convention. There were so many players, so many analysts. Matthew Berry, D.D. Westbrook was there, Chris Thompson, Mike Vick, Zeke Elliott, and so many more. Brad Evans from Yahoo. That was awesome, Eli.
Yeah, all the fantasy footballers were there.
Yep, met those guys. They actually were asking for you specifically, where is Eli? Tyler, I don't want to meet you. I want to meet Eli.
Yeah, I really wish I could go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I bet it was really fun.
It was awesome. My brother went down with me. It's a trip, guys. Next year, if you can get to the NFFC, definitely get there. It's awesome. It's worth every penny that you spend. The food was awesome. Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth was awesome. And all the meet and greets and all the booths and people selling stuff, it was a great time. 2 days worth of fun. Fantasy football fun, too.
Yeah, not just fun. Fantasy football fun.
That's right. Eli, you'll probably be going next year. All right, so let's going to do our intros on Tyler. That's Eli, obviously. And we're going to head into our 9s. That's news, info, notes, entertainment, and stats. Eli, we only have 3 this week because it's still kind of the slow off season. The first one is training camp starting up. Got a couple teams already reporting. I believe the Ravens and Colts. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty fun this coming week.
Pretty sure the Browns
they're getting
started,
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not yet, but they're like getting ready for it.
Yeah, it's spring. Training camp starts up this week, so every team should be reported pretty soon. It's going to be fun. Football is back in the air. All right, so the first 9 is Le'Veon Bell doesn't sign with the Steelers, so he'll be playing with the franchise tag once again, Eli. How does that make you feel?
I don't really like that because that means he's not really going to play to his fullest, and that means he won't produce as much, which is why I think I would draft Todd Gurley over Le'Veon Bell. Oh. And we'll touch on that either next week or in 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's actually going to go the other way. He's playing on the franchise tag, which means he probably won't re-sign with the Steelers this coming season or next year. And I think he's going to ball out because he's playing on that contract. He wants to get those big bucks next year. A lot of people think he may end up in Indianapolis. They need a running back, maybe even Houston. Get rid of Lamar Miller. That would be nice. Him, Hopkins, and Watson. That would be a great team. Him and Fuller, too.
That'd be the key piece to Houston's puzzle of getting to the playoffs. At least. Yeah,
you heard it here. You heard it here first. Bell to Houston Texans. Right? I like that.
Yeah, if he signs with the Texans, they're at least getting to the divisional round, I think.
Definitely. With that defense, too, they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
All right, the second one is DeMarco Murray retires. After a pretty decent career, starting in Dallas, going to Philly, ending up in Tennessee. It wasn't a bad career for him. I think 7-8 years running. It wasn't bad. He wasn't bad for fantasy. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No, it wasn't really a Hall of Fame career, but... it was a good career. It's a career that people would want to look up to.
Yeah, I'd take 7 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Moving on to Brandon Cooks. He signed a 5-year extension with the Rams. This is actually kind of surprising because he hasn't played a snap yet with the Rams. That's like buying a car before you're taking it for a test drive. You didn't even take the test drive and you bought the car. How do you know how it's going to run?
Yeah, I know. I mean, they must be pretty confident in him, and he must be pretty confident in Jared Goff to sign 5 years with the Rams. I think that'll be really big for LA. it would definitely push them over the edge in that division. They're gonna be number one in that division now.
Yeah, and he needs to play like a number one wide receiver. He didn't really do a whole lot in New Orleans or New England, so he better step up his game. I think right now he's a W2 or a WR2
in fantasy.
Yeah, a receiver 2. Yeah, he's the number 1 in LA, but he's a receiver 2 in fantasy. All right,
he's a steal at flex if you can get him there.
Oh, that'd be a great steal at flex.
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for our 9s. Usually we have 9 of them come the regular season, but again, it's slow. It's the off season. So what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, and most of you guys already know all of this that we're talking about right now. So
just catching up to speed.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're gonna go into our main topic this tonight. It's the quarterback rankings for our podcast. And Eli, we're also going to do some world famous candy bar bets, and we'll get to them in a little bit. But we have ranked all 32 quarterbacks. Pretty much, I don't think you have any rookies on there because
I do.
you have a couple rookies?
I have like 3 or 4 rookies.
Oh,
actually.
all right.
They're at the bottom, like 28 through 32.
Oh, right then. Yeah, I don't have any rookies this year. Only because I don't think any of them are going to start.
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens. So yeah, we're going to go as far as we can until we run out of time. We probably want to get to like 15 to 20 because they're about the same, and we can only say so much about Rodgers and Brady and Breeze. But we'll see how it goes and enjoy the ride. So number 1, Eli.
Yeah.
I have Aaron Rodgers.
I have Tom Brady, actually. I mean, it's the same as last year, probably the year before. I just think Tom Brady, he's the GOAT of NFL at least. He's going to produce. He's going to get you those fantasy points with no targets at all besides Gronk. No targets at all. He's still going to produce. I can't believe his targets in New England and how well he's been doing.
Yeah,
I mean, still coming off the Super Bowl loss, I still think they're gonna get to the playoffs with Brady leading them all the way.
Yeah, and they have Julian Edelman there, but he's suspended the first 4 games, so that's going to take a cut.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Matthews is the answer. Chris Hogan is hit or miss. Malcolm Mitchell, he doesn't even know how to find the field. I don't know where he's been. He had so much hype, but he's garbage now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're right. It's pretty much Gronk, and when Edelman comes back, he's got a couple backs out of the running backfield.
But other than that, really nothing.
But he still produces at the top quarterback.
And it's awesome because he's like, he never runs the ball either. It's crazy how he gets that many points.
Exactly.
Like Cam Newton and Russell Wilson, they have pretty solid targets. At least they had pretty solid targets. And they run, and they're not producing as much as Tom Brady.
Exactly.
It's just weird.
Yeah, my number 1 is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Rodgers or Brady at number 1. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been doing it every year he's been in the NFL, other than last year when he got hurt, but he's always good for 4,025 touchdowns. He doesn't throw a whole lot of picks. His targets have decreased a little bit, as in Jordy Nelson's isn't there. Yeah, they brought in Jimmy Graham, but they got rid of Jordy Nelson. I wish they would have gotten rid of Randall Cobb instead. But
they should have. I mean, Randall Cobb, I think, would have been great on the Raiders.
Yeah, I think he would have been better on the Raiders than Nelson. But they got Devontae Adams and Geronimo Allison, which actually I wrote a deep sleeper article for AcrossTheFantasyPond.com. If you want to check that out, I have him as a super deep sleeper this year.
Not worthy of drafting. Just watch him on the free agent wire.
Exactly. Yeah, watch 1 through 4. They got a good couple running backs in the backfield, which help open up the passing game a little bit, keep those defenses honest. But I like Aaron Rodgers. You can't really go wrong with him at 1 or 2. Obviously, you're going to take him anywhere, probably 3rd or 4th round if you like to draft early. If not, just pass on him and get your sleeper at the end.
Yeah, it's fine to have like an Eli Manning or Ben Roethlisberger as your starter.
Exactly.
No going wrong with that.
Nope. All right, so we've already talked about number 2. I have Brady. You have Rodgers. So we're covered with those guys. Number 3. I have Drew Brees.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
So what do you think about Drew Brees?
Drew Brees, he has lost some targets. Willie Snead to the Ravens.
Ravens, yep.
and
Coby Fleener, which he
and
didn't really
Kobe-
do a whole lot anyways.
Yeah, he was just he was basically just a run blocker.
Yeah.
For New Orleans.
But they did bring in Cameron Meredith.
They did, yeah.
That's a good snag.
So that's basically Willie Snead,
Yep.
another Willie Snead.
Yep.
I still think he's going to produce top 5 quarterback for fantasy this year. I have him at number 3, but he'll definitely produce. They're going to get to the playoffs with him. And he's got Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram that can catch it out of the backfield on third down and short. So he's going to get a lot of yards, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think last year was kind of fluky because they were testing out Kamara and Ingram in the backfield. I mean, you got to have a hot-handed Kamara running the ball like he did in and out super fast. So I do see Breeze's numbers going back up a lot from last year. Yeah, Ingram's sitting out 4 games, so that's going to help with the passing game. They did bring in Cameron Meredith, as we mentioned, who I believe is a little better than Willie Snead.
Yeah.
And they did bring back Benjamin Watson, who had a year or 2 in New Orleans, so I think Breeze will find him again as a tight end. So I think Breeze will get back to Breeze-like numbers this coming year.
Yeah, hopefully he does. You know, Ben Watson could be that tight end they're looking for.
Yep, I think you're right. I think until maybe get a draft. You know, I think they'll probably have to draft a tight end next year.
Yeah.
All right, now this is where we're going to start separating. Top 3 are pretty easy. Now, just listen for our names. You know, obviously we have different opinions and different quarterbacks, but I have number 4, Carson Wentz,
Oh, okay.
out of Philadelphia.
That's not bad. That's not
He's
bad.
coming back from his ACL. He's got awesome weapons in Jeffries, Aguilar, Ertz, and Corey Clement, the third down back, pass catching back out of the backfield. Jai he can, but I think they'll go with Clement more. They did bring in, what's his face? I can't think of his name right now. But they did bring in a third receiver to help offset that game. So I really like Carson Wentz this year. I think he will come back and just blow it out of the water again. There's reports that he may or may not be ready for week 1. I haven't seen anything saying he's not, but some people say he will be. So if he even misses the first game or 2, that's fine. Still draft him as your number 1 quarterback, and you'll be set for the playoffs.
Yeah, as long as you have a backup quarterback on your radar, at least on the free agent pool.
Yeah, just keep paying attention. We'll keep you up to date throughout the rest of July into August before your draft start. Eli,
Yeah,
who's your fourth quarterback?
Fourth for me is Deshaun Watson from Houston.
Sorry, they brought in Mike Wallace. I mean, he's not the biggest name, but he can catch the deep ball. So that's, I think, a little better than what they had beforehand. All right,
Yeah,
so
Philadelphia, that is,
Yeah.
not Houston.
All right, so sorry, Houston, number 4.
Deshaun Watson from Houston after his ACL tear, I believe it was, in week 4.
I think 7, but either way.
Oh, well, yeah, 7. But I think he's going to be coming back on fire. He's going to light up defenses and secondaries. He's got targets, and he's got great targets in DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller.
Yep.
And he's got Lamar Miller that can kind of catch it out of the backfield. Same with Dante Foreman. Yeah, Dante Foreman out of Texas A&M.
Yeah, he is kind of questionable. He may be on the PUP list because of injury, but once he bounces back in, he can catch the ball.
Yeah. So Lamar will be that third down catching running back.
Yeah, they had Alfred Blue in there too. He'll probably be good for 10, 15 catches.
He was pretty good before Lamar came on the
Yeah, my only question with Houston is they don't really have a tight end.
That's the thing.
That's the only problem, that they don't have a dump down, but when he's slinging the ball 80 yards, do you really need a dump down?
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins had the leading amount of receiving touchdowns last year. I think he'll get pretty close to that again with Watson as his quarterback again.
Yeah.
And hopefully for the whole season this time too.
Yeah, I like Watson. He can run the ball too, so he'll be a scrambling running back. He'll probably get 400 or 500 yards rushing,
Scrambling
and
quarterback.
probably about 5-6 touchdowns rushing.
Yeah, that'd be nice for him.
Now I have Watson a little bit deeper, and we'll get to that when we get there. I'm just scared of that. Not so much scared of the injury, but he hasn't really shown me enough. He's only played 7 games. I have him at 8. I mean, you can still take him as your number 1, but I've seen him go as high as the 2nd to 3rd round.
That's way too
That's
late.
too high.
Like 4th, 5th round.
Yeah, as a number 1.
Yeah.
But I have him down at 8 because at number 5 I have Kirk Cousins from Minnesota. I love Kirk
wow.
Cousins this year.
That's-
He has 3 great targets in the receiving game: Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, and Kyle Rudolph at tight end. Dalvin Cook catching the ball in the backfield. I have no problem with him finishing in the top 5 quarterbacks this year. I probably would
Wow.
I may put him before the season starts at number 3. Just because he's coming into a new system, they're going to build the system around him. His receivers are amazing, and I think he's got a better team than he did in Washington.
That's definitely true. That last part, Washington, his best receiver there was like Jamison Crowder, because Reed there, he was not healthy.
Yeah, well, they did at one time had Deshaun Jackson, but
Yeah, but that
not
was
enough,
no,
like
not
a year or two. Not,
yeah.
not
That
enough
was like
to do anything.
that was like not last year, but the year before. So
Yeah. If you
But-
want to compare it to last year, yeah.
Yeah, my number 5 is Carson Wentz. Like you said, coming off the Super Bowl ring, he did not win it.
Well, he got
But
one, but he
got
didn't win
one.
it. Yeah.
He didn't win it. But I think again he's gonna come back strong. I actually think he will not play week 1, but he'll play week 2. They're not gonna play him week 1 just to keep him off that leg, and then week 2 he's gonna come back slinging the ball for touchdowns.
Yeah. Before we go any farther, we do have a question on Twitter about Deshaun Watson. I missed that, so we'll go back to because we already talked about him a little bit. My brother, Uncle Kurt, your uncle, wants to know from Kay Boloski, wants to know, is Deshaun Watson a top 5 quarterback this year?
I don't think he's gonna finish as a top 5 quarterback, just because of the tight end position. Like we said, he's definitely gonna be a top 10
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just uncomfortable about that tight end position.
I agree with that. I think he'll be top 10, top 5 kind of shit. You do have him at 4, but it's probably a close 4 between him and Wentz. I could see
Definitely.
them. I could see them
It's
flip flopping
close.
for you by the end of the preseason. So yeah, I don't see Watson as a top 5 this year. Maybe next year.
If he keeps going his route, then he'll be
Yeah.
top 5 next year.
He's got a couple more questions, but when we get to them, we will stop and get to those. All right, so number 6, Eli, I have Big Ben out of Pittsburgh. I like Big Ben this year again. The man just keeps playing. He keeps putting
I
up those.
can't believe it because like 2 years ago he said he was going to retire
Yeah.
after the season.
But how can you retire with Antonio Brown out there, Juju Smith-Schuster out
I know,
there, Vance
it's-
McDonald,
all
Le'Veon
of
Bell?
those
How can you?
targets.
How
We
can,
can't mention them all.
Yeah, how
It's
can you leave those
just-
guys hanging? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad that Big Ben came back. I like him. He's a great guy. He's a great quarterback. I have him at 6. I think he's going to produce again this year. I think he's going to go try to get that ring again this year. I mean, they all do, but this may be his last chance to really go out and get it.
I don't know. That's what everyone says every year. That's even what I said last year. I don't know. It's really questionable. It's really up to him, obviously. But I have him actually at 7. But my number 6 is Russell Wilson from Seattle.
I have him much lower, and we'll get to that.
He can run the ball. He's got a pretty solid offensive line.
His offensive line is actually weak. He's a weak offensive line this year. Again, yeah. No rushing game. No wide receivers. Doug Baldwin. That's it. That's about it. That's all they have is Doug Baldwin.
That's all they have.
Yeah, they have Tyler Lockett, but and Brandon Marshall. However, it's just they're gonna catch on. Yeah, he can run the ball. He'll get you 600-700 yards and a couple touchdowns here and there. But I have Russell Wilson down at 13. I just
I
can't.
have actually Kirk Cousins at 13.
Oh, okay, all right. That could be a candy bar bet maybe down the road. I don't see. I know Wilson did it last year, but they had Paul Richardson to help them out. I just don't see Brandon Marshall and Tyler Lockett making up for Paul Richardson, and there's no running game. Yeah, they have Sony Michael.
I think Sony Michael could get it done. I mean, he's not going to be a great running back, but he'll be enough for Seattle. Definitely.
Yeah, but you still need an offensive line. So, I mean, I hope he does well. I hope he does. If you take him as your number
I don't know.
one.
I think he's got a pretty. I mean, on paper, he's got a pretty bad offensive line.
The
but-
defense is getting bad because everyone's retiring or you're trading away. So you're gonna have bad field position. It's just I think he'll get a lot of fourth quarter comeback passing yards. That's about it, as they call it, garbage time.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. What was that, number 6? I was writing something down.
Yeah, number 6.
All right, my number 6, I already said Big Ben. So who do you have number 7?
Number 7 is Big Ben.
Okay.
We don't really need to touch on him anymore. He's got millions of targets. He's gonna throw to basically all of them except for like DHB, Darius Hayward-Bay.
Yeah, they got
And those like
yeah, I don't know if
guys.
he's still on the team anymore.
I think he still is.
They got the rookie James Washington. They really like him this year. They think he's going to be the number 3.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty good.
All right, my number 7 is Eli Manning, out of New York. I have him at 7. I honestly think,
I have him at way lower than that.
and if you guys listen to the Red Shirts Fantasy Pop, I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to stop right there. I can look it up real quick. But I really think he's going to be a number 1 quarterback this year. I think he's going to finish in the top 12.
Ooh.
Because it's just, he's got Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Sharp, Evan Ingram. He's got Saquon Barkley. He's got a better offensive line this year. He has a new head coach. He's got a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but look what hold on, just pause for a second. Look what happened last year with the new head coach.
Yeah, he was a horrible head coach.
3 and 13.
Okay. 1, he was a horrible
3
head coach.
And 13.
No offensive line. All the receivers got hurt. And they didn't have a running game. So now they've changed all 4 or 5 of those things. I see him as a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna produce.
Yeah.
He's gonna finish as a top
To quickly go back,
top 15 for
to
me.
quickly go back, check out the newest episode of the Red Shirts Fantasy Football Podcast, and they break this debate down. Also, they talked about Eli Manning and how well he could be produced this year because of everyone else so high. Why isn't he ranked higher? Let me ask you this question too, Eli. Who would you rather have as your targets? Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, Jimmy Graham, and Ty Montgomery? Or would you rather have OBJ, Shepard, Ingram, or Barkley?
Definitely the Packers. No, obviously the Giants.
So why
He
wouldn't
has
you want
way
to?
better targets.
Yeah. So why not take Eli Manning then as your number 1 quarterback?
I would. I definitely would.
Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to take him over Aaron
I
Rodgers.
mean, just the thing, I don't know. Coming off that bad year, I don't think if they can bounce back.
I think they will. I think
they'll definitely get like 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm not worried about. I'm not fantasy football. You don't care about wins. You just care about points. And I think he's going to produce top 12 quarterback points if you compare him to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers doesn't have the targets like Eli Manning does.
I know, but again, going back to like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, again, no targets, still finishes a top 3 quarterback.
Right. Same with Aaron Rodgers and you're right. Rodgers and Brady so they get the job done. So yes, I'd rather have one of those 2 guys. But I'm okay taking Eli Manning as my number 1 quarterback. I would do it all year, every day, just because of his targets. Now, obviously,
you can't do it.
Now, obviously,
in
health.
Week
Well, yeah,
9.
Yeah, the bye weeks, obviously, and obviously, health has a lot to do with everything. But guys, just listen. I mean, listen to his targets. He's going to produce if they can catch the ball. If they stay healthy,
Yeah, if they
he
can
will
catch
be.
the ball.
Well, that's what everyone.
Cough, cough, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, right. That was horrible. Yeah, but he's got the ball.
Yeah,
from all
he's
the
gonna.
time.
Yeah, he's gonna bounce back.
So just
He's a sleeper.
now, you can either listen to what we're saying, especially myself, because I'm huge on Eli Manning, not just because I'm a Giants fan, but because I see his targets.
It's not because he's a Giants fan.
Take
trust
Eli
me.
Manning, or let him drop to me. I'll take him, and I'll beat you every week. All right,
Except
I think
for week 9.
I know. All right, I think we're done with Eli Manning.
Yeah,
but also,
let's move
guys,
on.
seriously, check out the Red Shirts Fantasy Football Podcast. It's a great podcast. I talk to them all the time. We talk all the time. It's awesome.
Where'd you have him? 7?
I have him at 7. So who do you have at number
That's
8?
a little too early for me. Number 8, Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
He
All right.
is going to
I'm not too bad. I have him at 10.
He's going to have a bounce back year. I mean, not like a big bounce back year, but he's going to have a pretty good year this year. He's got Greg Olsen back and healthy, hopefully for the whole year. He did lose Ted Ginn, I think, or no.
I'm sorry. Who are you talking about? I'm sorry. What? I was looking something up. Who are we?
The
Yes, they lost
Cam-
Ted Ginn. Yes, they got rid of
lost
Ted Ginn. Yep.
But that was a couple years
Yeah, they brought in DJ Moore. And
DJ Moore, we'll get to him in wide receivers.
Yep.
He's not a top 10 wide receiver, but he's a
He'll do the job for number
darn
2.
good wide receiver.
Yeah, Devin Funchess is there. Greg Olson's there. Christian McCaffrey can catch the ball in the backfield.
Yeah. They did get rid of the headache Jonathan Stewart, which I'm really glad.
Old man Stewart.
And they got him to the Giants, which I'm also glad about.
And you know it's Cam. He's going to run the ball. He's gonna get you 700 yards and a couple touchdowns, so you don't have to worry about those points.
He's a fly under the radar type guy. He's not going to show up on people's teams usually, and that's when I'm going to steal him as my bench quarterback.
Yeah.
When no one's taking him in the 10th round.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not going to fall to the 10th round, but if I can take him as my backup quarterback, I'd be set.
If you have Rodgers or Brady, you can have him as your backup. That's not a bad idea because you have to bye week him, or you could even trade him if he gets hot.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, my number 8 is Deshaun Watson, as we already talked about. It's just his tight end production, his offensive line a little bit.
And
he's
the
only played
nervous sniffs of the injury.
Yeah, and he's only played 7 games. So it's not that I don't think he's going to produce. I need a little bit more. All right, number 9, I have Matthew Stafford out of Detroit.
Same with me, yeah.
He's got awesome targets, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate. The tight end's kind of iffy, but they do have Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson, I like him this year.
Yeah, coming out. I think he's going to produce. He's very steady. He's a quarterback 2. He could be a quarterback 1 on your team, but as far as production-wise, he's going to produce as a quarterback 2. He's going to be good for you. He could be a streaming quarterback if you go to that way. Maybe
he's a good stream quarterback.
Yeah, maybe him and Eli, him and Big Ben. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, him and Jimmy G.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I have at number 10.
Oh, okay. I have him 25.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let me quickly do mine because I have Cam Newton at 10, and I think we've already talked about him. But Cam Newton at 10 for me. For the reasons we already talked about. All right, so who do you have? You have Jimmy G. Let's hear Jimmy G.
Okay, Jimmy G. I can't believe you have him at, 25?
25. And that's only because I was being nice. He's played 7 games. Not even. No, 5.
Yeah, he won.
5 games.
He won all 5 of those games.
Nah, we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. He hasn't done enough for me. His targets are weak.
What is enough for you?
I want at least a whole season out of a quarterback. I want better receivers than Pierre Garçon and Marquise Goodwin and George Kittle. And, Jarrett McKinnon's fine and Matt Breida.
He just tosses it either across the middle to the tight end position or down the field for a streak for 80-yard bombs. He's gonna get yards. He's gonna
because they'll be losing all game. I'm not saying he's not gonna produce.
Yeah, but like you said 5 minutes ago, it doesn't. I don't care about the wins.
Exactly, you're right. You're right with that. I'll give you that. No, but I don't have. I just need to see more out of Jimmy G. I'm not saying he can't produce and won't produce, but for me to put him up there as a QB1 and draft him,
I don't know. He's not a QB1. He's a star. He's a streamer. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's not my weekly
I'm not
basis.
drafting him. I'm not drafting him. I won't even draft him as a streamer. I won't even stream him. Give me this year, and then we will talk.
Man.
I don't mean to take over your stuff, but that's my opinion. Keep going with your Jimmy G. You have any more breakdown for him?
No.
You just like him from last year. Which is fine because that's a lot of people are doing.
He has talent, and if he can just use that, he will be a top 15 quarterback.
Okay.
I'm
not saying he can't either, but for right now, my ranking is 25.
Yeah, and he's not gonna finish at top 10.
Let me see what he does. Let me see what he does preseason week 3 when they play most of the game, and then I may bump him up to 24. All right, we gotta have to move on. We probably want to get to top 15. Yeah. But Phillip Rivers, I have at 11 from the Chargers. This guy, This guy is consistent. He is 4,025 every year, roughly. No, we don't really get into a whole lot of numbers. We kind of, unfortunately, we don't. We don't have the time to go.
We tell it how it is.
That's right. We tell it how it is. That's right. Yeah, we eyeball test a lot of this stuff, guys. But He's consistent. You know Phillip Rivers. He's in out. He's in and out every week. 20 points, fantasy points a game.
This is like his 11th year. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
this dude needs a ring. Unfortunately, he's probably will never get a ring, but he'll get the Hall of Fame.
He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no doubt.
I would bump him.
I mean, give it. He has given the ball to Antonio Gates like all of his career.
Yeah, mostly.
And Antonio Gates is obviously a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and he actually may be back this year. But I love Phillip Rivers. I would have him a little bit higher, but his targets are weak. He has Keenan Allen. He has Melvin Gordon.
That's it.
Unfortunately, Hunter Henry this year is hurt, so now they have to rely on, I think, Virgil Green. Okay, nothing. Maybe Antonio Gates, but again, the guy's 800 years old. So now they're going to have to look at the Williams kids, Mike Williams and I think Tyrell Williams.
Yeah, Tyrell.
They're nothing for me. I'm not drafting either one of them. So unfortunately, that's
all
why
the guys are saying besides
Keenan Allen
and Melvin Gordon. You're not going to draft
Austin Eckler maybe. So
no.
I mean, you're drafting him. You're not drafting him, but he's a target.
Yeah,
so
Austin Eckler.
I would bump Rivers up if he had better targets.
No, never mind.
I mean, if you put Rivers on Houston, he's going to be in my top 5. You put Rivers on the Giants, he's going to be my probably 2, 3 maybe.
Ooh.
But I'm just saying, he needs better targets. If he had better targets, he'd be bumped up higher for me.
Definitely.
Who do you have for 11?
I got Matt Ryan.
Oh, good. We went back and back. I have Ryan at 12. You have Ryan at Rivers, so we'll just cover them both right now.
Yeah, I got Rivers at 12.
All right, so
Matt Ryan, he's got some pretty solid targets in Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu,
Stephen Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. Stephen Ridley was a running back, I believe.
He's got Austin Hooper, I'm pretty sure, is still there.
Freeman out of the backfield. Coleman out of the backfield.
We will probably talk about this next week or in a couple weeks, but I am on the Devontae Freeman hype train this year.
Oh, yeah?
He's going to produce like crazy to me. He's going to be a top at least 15 running back.
I even would say top 10. I mean, if that passing game can open up the running game, he's going to be on fire this year.
Yeah, I'm on the hype train for Devontae Freeman. I hope you guys are, because if you aren't, then I'm going to draft him. So actually, I hope you guys aren't.
Yeah, so you guys jump off the train so Eli can get him as a running back. Would you take him running back 1? Probably. I mean, if you went receiver,
not week 1, but
if you went receiver and he's sitting there, he'd be yeah.
But if I have like Jordan Howard in him, I'll probably put Jordan Howard at 1, and then during the season when he blows up,
you can start both. You'd start both of them.
Well, yeah, but
all right, back to Matt Ryan. Back to Matt Ryan. We'll get to the running backs probably next week.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Okay, Matt Ryan, he's going to blow up. He's going to bomb it down the field to Julio. Hopefully he'll get touchdowns. Julio, that
why
is.
Why not? He should.
I mean...
Can't do any worse than 3.
Yeah.
Well, 2 and 1. 0, but...
he literally got 0 touchdowns until at least week 7, I think.
Yeah, he's horrible in the touchdown productions. Yeah, Matt Ryan...
He gets catches and he gets yards, but...
Yeah, Matt Ryan's pretty good. I don't think he'll go back to his MVP numbers from a couple years ago, but
he's an MVP.
Yeah, he's gonna. He's gonna give you anywhere from 15 to 20 points every week. He's a good, solid quarterback. He's a quarterback too, so you're gonna stream him.
As a streamer.
Yeah, maybe stream him with Stafford or Rivers or Big Ben or Eli. He's a streamer.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
Unless you got a stacked up team, then you can use him as a. Did you just dab?
Yeah.
They can't see it.
I know.
But it's awesome.
I still dab.
I know, it's awesome. But you could, if you have a stacked team, you could definitely take him as your QB1, and you wouldn't have to worry about 2 or 3 extra points because you have your stacked team.
Yeah.
My 13, we'll move to 13 because we already talked about 12 with Ryan. So
yeah.
My 13, we've already touched on Russell Wilson, so I don't really need to say anymore. Just rewind the podcast here in about 5 minutes, talk about Russell Wilson.
A couple more, but yeah. My 13, Kirk Cousins, again, we've already talked about him.
No, but why do you have him so low, though? We haven't talked about why you have him low. We talked about why I'm high.
I don't know, coming into Minnesota, I know you said they're gonna revolve the playbook around him. But I still think that, new wide receivers, new playbook, he's not gonna be a top 10 quarterback for me. He might finish top 10, but he's not going to start for the first 5 weeks as a top 10. I don't think he will.
I-
After he gets used to the system, then he'll start getting better.
I see that.
I don't think in the first 5 weeks. I don't think he's gonna produce crazy.
I can see that. I understand what you're saying because, yeah, you do have to get the timing down in your receivers. You do still have to learn the playbook. It does get loud in Minnesota, and some quarterbacks may
That's
not be
true.
able to handle that because he played outside in
And
Washington.
he played in Washington.
Yeah,
so not
I
many
definitely
fans
get that.
there.
I can see, and I understand why you have him so low because you have Jimmy G so high, and you have. But I get that, and it's you're splitting hairs. These guys between 10 and 20, you really could place them anywhere else.
Yeah,
I think I have seen a lot of people have them between 10 and 15. I have seen people between 5 and 10. So no one's right because it's all a guessing game. So
Yeah, what we're doing right now is just a guessing game, pretty much. Especially with like Watson and Jimmy G, who haven't really totally proved themselves so far. But we're just going off on what we saw last year
yeah, and what we're
and
hoping
what
for
we
this year.
yeah, what we're hoping for this year.
Yeah, all right, so let's do two more. We'll go through 14 and 15, and then we'll do some candy bar bets, and we'll call it a wrap, and we'll answer two more questions. All right, so number 14, I have Marcus Mariota out of Tennessee.
Ooh.
I think this is going to be his – if this isn't the year that he produces, I think you can start saying goodbye to Marcus Mariota, not just in fantasy, but in the NFL. He maybe start becoming a backup quarterback. He does have Corey Davis. He has Rashid Matthews, Delaney Walker. Somehow he's still hanging on the league. Deion Lewis and Derrick Henry all catching the balls out of the backfield. If he can't produce 15 to 20 points a week out of this system, then you got to get rid of him. You can't trust him anymore.
I've kind of given up on him. I don't want him on my fantasy team if he's not going to produce.
Yeah,
Who wants him?
He would be my second stringer. If I have Eli,
If it's like a deep league, I'll have him.
two quarterback league,
Two quarterback league.
Yep, he's
Yeah,
my
I'd
number
have him
two.
as a 3.
2-3. Yep,
Yeah.
streaming. He'd be my week
Streaming the
two
flex.
select
Yeah,
league.
stream
Yeah.
the flex.
Yep.
I don't know. He's been given the targets right in his face.
Yep.
And he's not using them. He's
Yep.
just I don't know.
A lot of it has to do with a couple of years he's been injured. He can run the ball,
Yeah.
but hopefully he starts backing up a little bit.
He's got a pretty decent offensive line, I would say.
New head coach this year. I believe it's Frank Wright.
Yeah.
But he'll run. He'll get you 300-400 yards and a couple touchdowns. But hopefully he backs that off a little bit and trusts his receivers.
Because that's what he is. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
running is nice, but
Yeah.
you're
Stay
a
healthy.
quarterback.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
So this is my last year with him. He doesn't produce top 15 quarterback. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
Who do you have at 15?
I actually have Marcus Mariota at 20.
Oh,
Just 'cause of what
yeah,
we talked
yeah. Like I
about.
said, he's right in that range, 15-20.
14.
Yep.
Jared Goff.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Where
Okay,
do
that's...
I have him? I don't even see.
You better have him.
Oh, I have
on
him
there.
18. That's not too far. I have 18.
18? Okay.
That's not bad. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm not too far off.
All right, Jared Goff. He's got the targets like we talked about earlier. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper
I think Jarrett
Kupp.
Everett's the tight end.
Yeah,
Gurley.
he won't produce fantasy, but he'll get like those first down, like on 3rd and 4 or whatever. He'll get
Who's
the
that,
first
Everett?
downs. Yeah, Everett.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching Everett.
No, not in fantasy wise, but he's Jared Goff he's gonna do big things this year. I think definitely back to the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they strengthened their defense, so they definitely have that. They added Cook, so that's going to help. I like Goff. I do have him at 17 or 18. I mean, you're right. He can only continue to go up. I mean, from his rookie year to last year to this year, he can only go up. They got
Him and Wentz, they're really good.
quarterbacks of the future, probably.
Yeah, they're like MVPs once like all the big
Once
names
Rodgers
retire.
and Brady and Breeze gets out of the way,
Yeah,
they'll.
so Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, and Jared Goff, top 3 quarterbacks once Breeze, Rodgers, and Brady retire.
Yeah.
I really
Yep.
think
Big
that
Ben,
will
Manning,
happen.
Rivers get them out of there
Yeah.
too, and yeah, it's their league to take over. You're right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Jared Goff will be a stud here pretty soon. And I mean, he's still going to get you 20, 25 points like a quarterback should because of his targets. He does run a little bit, but he's not really that mobile.
He's a mobile quarterback, but he doesn't want to run.
Yeah, I mean, when you have
he
those
could
targets,
definitely run.
Yeah.
If he definitely could.
All right.
But he doesn't like to.
Our last quarterback's Eli, number 15. Who do you got?
I got Eli Manning.
Yeah?
Just because of last year again.
That's understandable.
I don't really need to touch on him too more. We talked about him a lot, so again, you can just rewind it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, last year is a downer for him, and
last year is basically like 75% what we're basing this on.
yeah, mostly,
Well,
yeah. That and what
yeah.
we predict this year, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my number 15 is Derek Carr out of Oakland. I think just like Mariota, this is his last year to prove it to me. If you can't,
Really?
if you can't get it done with Cooper, last year was Cooper Bryant and Jared Cook, and then this year is going to be Cooper, Nelson, and Martavis Bryant if he's going to play this year, and Cook. If you can't get it done this year with Marshawn Lynch and Doug Martin also out of the backfield, you can't do it for me in fantasy anymore. I can't keep putting up 15 to 20 points when I have other options. I would stream him as my second quarterback again, like Mariota. But if you don't win me 4 or 5 games this year, I'm done with you, Derek Carr. Real NFL, yeah, you're gonna help the Raiders out, maybe get to the playoffs. But you gotta do it for me this year, or you're done. You're gonna drop. You'll still stay below. You'll still stay ahead of Jimmy G. But I'm gonna drop you down.
All right, I have 2 things about that. One, I think you have to cut him some slack with John Gruden, the new head coach coming in. He's not really gonna be used to him. And second of all, I really think that Derek Carr hasn't been doing terrible these past years. I think he's been producing pretty well. He's been getting like 20 to 25 points.
He will get he did get hurt a couple years ago, so I will give him that part. But maybe you know what it is? It's probably because he's not that flashy quarterback who, again, you're not winning games, so that doesn't help me fantasy wise. But you're not winning the games, you're not taking the team to the playoffs. So that's why I'm so low on him, because he's not that flashy, which is not a problem. But for me, I didn't want you to name
like Drew Brees, he's not flashy, and he's a top 3 quarterback.
Exactly. You're right. No, you're right. Good point. All right, do we do your 15 yet?
Eli Manning.
All
Didn't really need to touch on him.
Yeah. All right, so we'll answer 2 more questions from Kurt. That'd be my brother, your uncle. We went down to the NFFC. So we were bouncing around ideas for the podcast, talking about podcasts. He sent us some questions on Twitter, which you can find me on Twitter at Tyler Belawski. That's TYLER BELAWSKE. My DMs are open, so you can ask me private questions. You can just shoot me a regular tweet if you want to. I love answering questions, and I will help you. And if I don't have the answer, I'll direct you to somebody I know that can help you with that.
Like me. I could help you with that.
You can, but you're not on Twitter.
Yeah.
But we would answer it here on the podcast.
Yeah, we would answer it on the podcast.
All right, so Kurt wants to know, would you start Tyrod Taylor in a 2-league quarterback?
I would stream him.
Yeah, so he'd be your 2-3?
2-3, yeah.
I would. I'd start him as my number 2.
Yeah.
I have him as my 17th quarterback because his targets are amazing this year.
I actually didn't. 24th.
Okay, so we're a little off.
Yeah.
But he's got great targets: Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon, David Njoku, Duke Johnson, and just to name a few. He can run the ball. So yeah,
Carlos Hyde.
I'm gonna take those 20 points, 23 points a week as my number 2 quarterback. If I team him up with Rodgers or Brady or Breeze, I'll take him as my number 2.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. I would stream him in a 1 quarterback league, because if you can catch the hot hand, if he's playing against, say, the Colts.
Yeah, play the matchup.
Play the matchup with Tyrod. I actually have a water bet with Rob from Across the Fantasy Pond podcast.
You had a lot with him last year.
Yeah, and so we're going to bring that back up again because I'm writing for him at acrossthefantasypond.com. But his podcast, I have a water bet with him that he's going to finish as a QB1 this year. And he's going to have more than 3,600 yards, and I think it was like 30 touchdowns.
So top 12?
Top 12, yeah, top 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, he's got the targets, just like Eli. They got targets. Why not?
I know, but
A
it's
decent
the Browns.
defensive offensive line. The only thing will hold them back. They have the new offensive coordinator from Pittsburgh there. So
it's the Browns.
I know. I think we're probably.
It is the Browns.
I'm probably going to lose that bet, but I'm okay with it. And then his last question is: are there any rookies from this year that you would draft in redraft? So Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen, quarterbacks. Allen. Those are about it. Obviously not Mason Rudolph. You're not going to get too deep.
No way.
Maybe the only one I would draft, obviously,
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on injuries, if Sam Bradford went down or AJ McCarron, or the news between now
Or
and
both Joshes, I think, would be the only ones I would draft. I'm not going to.
no.
No.
The only quarterback I would draft, and that's if they named him the number one, would be Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore.
Really?
I would draft him because, well, if he's going to start, he's going to be way better than Joe Flacco. He can run the ball way better than everyone else. His targets are okay. He has two decent tight ends, but that would be the only one I would draft is Lamar Jackson if he was named the starter. If not, I'm not drafting any redraft. I would maybe wait and maybe stream him.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And also, maybe if you have like a deep league but one quarterback, I would draft a 2 quarterback deep league, maybe even Tyrod and Baker Mayfield, who's in Cleveland?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's in Cleveland.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
So you get the handcuff.
Yeah.
All right, so Eli,
Well, yeah.
let's get to our world famous candy bar bets. We're going to bring that back again this year. Let's do our number 1s and number 2s. So I have Aaron Rodgers will outscore Tom Brady.
I don't think so.
So you're going to take Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
All right, we're going to do that one.
TB12.
TB12 with another dab. They can't see. And let's do our favorite team, Steelers, Giants.
I think I'm gonna lose this one.
I'm going to say Big Ben will outscore. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm going to say Eli Manning will outscore Big Ben this year.
Same with me, but I have to choose Big Ben.
Yeah, go with Big Ben. All
I'm
right.
forced to say that.
So you're forced. Yeah, because of teams.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for our candy bar bets. We would keep you guys up to date on those throughout the year, and we're going to do ones of receivers, tight ends, and running backs, and maybe throughout the rest of the season.
Hope we didn't keep you guys too long for this podcast.
Yeah, we try to keep it 30 to 45 minutes. We may be running over. The clock has decided to shut down on us, so we're just going to wrap it up now. We may be a little long, we may be a little short, but before
I don't know. I think we're long.
Yeah, before we bounce, again, you can find us on Twitter at Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips. No, you can't. We don't have that. You can find us on Twitter at Tyler Belawski. That's TYLERBELAWSKE. And you can find my articles. I'd love that you click on them at acrossthefantasypond.com. I have about 4 or 5 articles up right now. I have 2 or 3 I'm working on also. Check those out. It's an awesome website. The crew there is amazing. They're pumping out new articles weekly, so go check them out. Again, check out our podcast on YouTube. That's where you can only find it right now. And before we check out, I'm going to give you a final thought. No. Eli, you have any final thoughts?
I think Jimmy G is gonna do way better than 25th.
Oh, Jimmy G.
I get.
You're probably right.
I get it.
You're probably right, and maybe
I know what you mean.
Yeah, maybe that will adjust.
It's hard to trust in a quarterback that hasn't really done much. 5 games.
Yeah.
5-0 though.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe I'll adjust it
5-0.
once the season starts or right before it starts. My final thought is, again, guys, seriously, check out Eli Manning, and he's going to produce. He will produce. Rewind this, fast forward it, go check out the red shirts. We break it down for you. He will win you games every week. The only thing I would have to say is that he does
win your fantasy games.
Yes, he does throw some interceptions. But
He's
you
like
can get
the
past
king
that. You
of
can get past that,
INTs.
and it'll be fine.
I don't know if I can though. I think it's just a little too much.
Yeah. Final thing also, again, thank you, Field Yates, for the intro drop. That was awesome. It was nice meeting you, talking with you last weekend at the NFFC. And Gabe Gearing, again, thank you for the awesome intro music. That was hot. We still sing the song all day, every day.
Yeah, all three of my brothers are just singing it, and they're giving it remixes.
They remix it. Yeah, they're starting to remix it a little bit. It's awesome. I got to get that and post it on Twitter. We will try to get our all 32 rankings on Twitter. I'm in the middle of a project now for the Scott Fish Bowl. I'm ranking all 900 teams, so it's going to take me some time. It will take me a while. That's a long final thought, but guys, thank you so much for listening to the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips podcast. We tell it how it is.
Season 3, episode 41.
See ya.